Jim Nailon, liturgical guitarist, and this is lesson 5 on the fretting hand, C major scales in thirds, sixths, and tenths. So thirds and sixths and tenths are essentially two-note chords that are quite useful sometimes in playing my arrangements, and used often in music to make a more beautiful sound than just a pure melody of one line. So let's start here with the C major scales in thirds. We're going to play with our first and second fingers. Our first finger's on the second fret of the fourth string, third finger on the third fret, or second finger on the third fret of the fifth string, which is the first two notes of a C chord. I play a C chord, normally I play it like this, but I'm going to play these two notes using my first and second fingers. Then I'm going to slide up one fret on my first finger to the third fret, and I'm going to use my third finger to play the fifth fret of the fifth string. Then I'm going to slide back down on my first finger, and then I'm playing the second finger on the second fret of the fourth string and the open third string. And then I'm going to play with my second and third fingers. I'm going to play the F and the A, the third fret of the fourth string, and the second fret of the third string. Then I'm going to play the open second and third strings. I'm going to put my first and second fingers down on those strings. Slide those fingers up 2 frets. And then I put my fourth and third fingers down on the fifth fret of both the second and third strings. And then go back down. Now on the right hand, I'm essentially just pinching with my thumb and first finger. So that's the first one. And play it nice and slow. And again, keep space there in between the palm and the neck. Always keep space between the palm and the neck. The only time I don't is when I'm reaching around on an F chord and grabbing the bass here. Then I'm tucking in here. But any other chord, any bar chord, anything, it's always preferable to keep space there, because it'll free your hand up, your muscles up a lot more for any hammer-ons. Okay, next line, C major scale in sixth. Sixth, music theory, they're an inverted third. In a third, you start out in C, so if you look back at the first line, the first two notes are C and E. C is the first note of that C major scale that we learned. So C and an E, if we're talking about that chord, the scale, C would be the 1, D would be the 2, E would be the 3. So it's called a third, a musical interval of a third. You're skipping one scale note between them. And so we keep that same relationship between the notes as we go up. So in the next one, we're starting again on C. And this time so we're on the second line here. The bass note is the C, and then the note above that in the chord is an A. So if I think of C as counting 1, little music theory here, thrown in for free. 1, the D would be 2, E would be 3, F would be 4, G would be 5, and the A would be the sixth note in the scale. B would be 7, and then the 8th is also this back to the C again, which becomes the 1. So from C to A is an interval of 6, so we call it a sixth, and it's actually an inverted third, which would be when we were playing in the scale in third up above it, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the sixth set of eighth notes we had there, second half of the third beat in the first measure, is an A with a C on top of it. So we take that and we reverse it, put the C in the bass, have the A there. That's why it's a sixth. And if you don't understand that, don't worry about it. So this one we're going to start out just like with the third finger on the C in the bass, and your second finger playing the second fret of the third string. Okay, so we're working on that second line now. First note, and again, I'm just pinching either with my thumb and first finger or my thumb and second finger usually. So the next note is just the open second and fourth strings. I'm going to put my first and second finger down just like I would on a C chord. First finger on the first fret of the second string, second finger on the second fret of the fourth string. Now I put my third and fourth fingers down on the third fret of the second and fourth strings. Open first and third. First and second fingers down, first on the first fret of the first string, second finger on the second fret of the third string. Slide that up 2 frets. And then put down my third and fourth fingers. Fourth finger on the fifth fret of the first string, third finger on the fifth fret of the third string. And then back down. And then we're going to go one note lower. We're going to do the first finger on the second fret of the fifth string and the open third string. So that scale sounds from the top. Ready, play. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and repeat. And go as slow as you need till you get it down, and then bring it up to tempo. Then there's a second scale there in 6. This one goes a little higher. This starts on the first fret of the second string in the top and second fret of the fourth string. Then we're going to go further up. We're on the first and third strings. Slide those fingers up, and then the fourth and third, just like we did up above. But now we're going to slide those up 2 frets to the 7th fret, and then we're going to go into the second and third finger. So the high note there is the second finger on the 8th fret of the first string. Third finger on the 9th fret of the third string, and then back down. And the last note is the open second and fourth strings, and then you repeat it. And one nice thing about these sixths and thirds, you can use slides. So, and you can hammer on, double hammer on. And if you listen to sometimes you'll hear guitar leads that incorporate thirds and sixths and tenths. And they're using, often a good guitar player will, lead guitar player, will use hammer-ons, and you're not picking every note. And finally, the scale in tenths. Now this is, a tenth is, if we start again on our C, C is 1, D, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is an E. But if you look at the very first scale in thirds, that was a C and an E also. It was just they were close together. So a tenth is a third and an octave. So start out here on that last line, the scale in tenths, third finger on the third fret of the fifth string, and the first string open. So here I'm pretty much pinching with my thumb on the bass and my third finger playing the melody note, or the top note. And then I have the first fret of the first string, open, fourth string. Then I have third fret of the first string, play with my little finger, and the second fret of the fourth string, play with my second finger. And then I'm going to slide up on the fourth finger, 2 frets to the 5th fret, and I put my first finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. Come back down. Now we're going to go down. This is where we started here. Now this is the last beat in that 3rd measure. Now we have the 4th finger playing the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, or 3rd fret of 2nd string, excuse me. And the 2nd finger's playing the 2nd fret of the 5th string. And then the last measure starts with the open A in the bass and first fret of the 2nd string played by the 1st finger. Then we go down, we play like a G bass, 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, and the top note is the open 2nd string. Then we come back up, and then we take the repeat back to the start. Like that. And you'll hear those in a lot of my arrangements. The C major scale in tenths is, if you looked at the Song of Joy, the Beethoven, that's these tenths. And I'm just putting a drone open 3rd string, the G. And we'll get more into that in the 3rd series of lessons on chord melody. So that's all I have on C major scales. I have one more lesson in this series. We're going to cover the same thing we did in this lesson, only in G major scales. So I pray God blesses your playing, and I wish you peace.